Morning. All right. Is this anybody think this is the bottom or just the start of the pain that's to come? I don't see much to the left here as we anyway start with the Dow diamonds here, breaking down through this swing low and this swing low on one bar. So we got a powerful wide range bar breaking to the downside here. And this recovery this morning, well, we could see, well, it'll look better when we look at the futures anyway, but not much of a recovery in reality, even though the Dow futures are up here 129 points. Not much compared to this down move here. So we'll just have to see how far it can get this morning, because as we know, that momentum move to the downside has created a void above. So again, we'll assess how far it goes, and that's where the breakdown area is or was. And so we'll see when it gets up there, if it gets that far. And let's keep going here. Spiders stopped right on its 50 MA and just before that pivot low there, and a little minor retracement. So how do we handle this? Easier to look at the futures, but I'll just explain here how I handle it anyway. Since there's a void above, who knows how far it'll go? I mean, we've seen before some amazing recoveries last year with big red bars. So we can't just assume that the same thing's going to happen. Anyway, to short something that's into a void like this, as you can see, there's nothing here to the left, right? So what I want to do is, once it creates a swing high, look for a retest. And sometimes it jiggles around a little bit. If it does, 3 times, that's even better. But once it finds some new resistance area by creating a pivot, we then wait for a retest. And, as it goes sideways there, it creates a new resistance area that we can short a breakdown from. All right, so again, we'll just see how that develops here this morning. Right now, just stopped on that 50 MA and support. That's a good sign for bulls, but this obviously was the start of something. It retraced into resistance, back down again, and so that's what we do. We just continue to monitor bar by bar, see what today brings. A lot of times after a wide range bar, you get a stabilization day, and what could be what we call a 1, 2, 3 continuation pattern lower. The weekly is still in an uptrend, and hopefully whatever this correction is going to take, how far it's going to go, it doesn't violate the uptrend. And let me just move this down to the swing low here. And you can see it's kind of give or take from where it started to where it ended. It's maybe 50%, give or take. So somewhere in here, ideally, where buyers would step up. And again, it's an area. So let's just duplicate that line and just kind of put it somewhere in here. Maybe sideways a little, maybe a little lower, but not a scary correction. Well, scary is all relative to where you're in, right? And what's happening. Look, if you bought here, this is getting scary already. If we're, managing properly and just waiting, let it get scary. Scary is better. We want to see fear. So, part of what I wrote in the weekend letter was the faster it drops, the faster it's over, because now it creates a void, and a fast drop to the downside here would be ideal. Fear, our internals would get, the breadth would get down to an extreme, which is what we need to see. Breadth being down at this level doesn't mean much because sentiment isn't there yet. And historically, this could go down to 250, 300 before we would see a tradable low, even without sentiment coming down to an extreme. So we'll see. That's what we do. We have our tools, right? Breadth, sentiment, trend, so on. And then we see how it evolves. And let's go to the Qs. All right. Held up better, but still, a big, red, ugly, wide range bar. Gap a little up to 221. No big deal. It's not even halfway into that red bar. So this up move doesn't mean much. Russell, right, got clobbered closer to this major support area. We'll see if that holds. If it gets down there, recovering a little bit here this morning. Transports got clobbered too. And that's kind of, while we knew sentiment was at an extreme and, what I called the nosebleed territory, it doesn't mean the market had to go down at that moment. And the fact that the transports had broken out of this range, that was a huge positive. And, it's like maybe it can get up here and make a new high, but now we've got a breakout failure. So, and we'll see if it can hold here, or geez, can you imagine it's going to go all the way back down to the bottom of the range again? I don't know. We'll see if, step by step, if it holds here. It held the area of the 200 MA on the daily. So, we'll see. And, the Russell was, acting a little better. It got further and closer, but look at the wide range bar on the weekly as it got close there. And that was a little bullish consolidation and breakdown below the wide range bar. Nothing positive here at all. All right, looking at the futures, you can see the little recovery there on the bottom part. So if we were looking at this at the end of the day, right, the bias would be 1, 2, 3 to the downside. Look for it to go lower. Sometimes you get another day, but look, here's the void. Right, that was the big drop, and now it's creating resistance. That's the pivot. We'll see the retest. Now, what I would have actually preferred it getting a little further to the upside to form the retest pattern, because then it's got further to drop before it reaches first support. Right. Being zero, what is your opinion on the market? I'm giving it right now. Okay. Right. It's, after a big day like this, you typically get a stabilization day. So it could be ideal for SPX 0 days to expiration. We'll assess that further as the market's open, and we'll see, what happens after the open here. What we want to happen in its beginning is to create a area of resistance and support. Right? So looking down here, we've got some support. It's creating that resistance area that I was talking about, the retest, a little sideways action here. But again, if it got closer, like a little further of retracement, and then had this kind of a pattern, then selling up above here would be ideal, right? And down here. So the distance between our reference point of resistance and support and selling, a call spread or a put spread or an Iron Condor, where it's got that room to jiggle around away from the strikes, is, the ideal scenario. One Friday to both of you. Dan never got a reply. I'll look at that. Maybe it's in spam, Ludwig, because I pretty much cleaned out all of my emails over the weekend, answered for what I've seen. So maybe it's sitting in the spam. I don't know. I don't know if Dan will tell you whether he got it or not. The way I know that I have to respond to some of you in TC 2000. So after some weekend chores and whatever, I will get to that today. I haven't forgot you. All right. NASDAQ futures, more constructive, but think about it a little bit this way. This is showing relative strength, right? We know that. But this area here is creating a larger area of resistance and potential supply to drive it lower, since it's got this, tighter consolidation, relatively tighter consolidation, versus, something like this, dropped, retracement, drop. Not that this can't fall further, but when we look at this, it's got a larger wall of overhead resistance because these overlapping bars versus down bar, and so on. All right, YM, same as the diamonds, big drop, retracement into the gap fill, back down again, held at the swing low. And so a little bit of sideways action here with an inability to retrace deeply into the wide range bar of void, the greater the potential to continue the drop to the downside. Remember, we're looking at odds. We're not really looking to predict that this is an absolute, what the future is going to be. We don't know. But we have the analysis, pivots, bars, bar by bar, and so on, support, resistance, to determine the probability of what's likely to happen, right? Below 3,200. Well, 3,200 on SPX is, a pretty, a focal point. It could be safe today, Paul, especially with this little retracement. And again, we'll assess how far this goes at the open. Give it at least, 5 minutes, 15 minutes to jiggle around. And so 3,200, it could be safe. I mean, it's a number that I know that's being focused on, but look to the left, it's already tested this area here. So, and just going back to the futures, which gives us, the data to really, a cleaner view of what's going on. It's now created this swing. So if this can move up into this area here, then I would say, yes, today would be safe. Okay. All right. Russell, right, again, closer to support. So if we get a short setup today, right, this would probably not be the go-to market because it's already fallen as much. So again, we'll see. Oil down to the bottom of the range here, and we'll see. Probably begins to hold. Makes sense. Top of the range, bottom of the range. It's been holding here before. If it can't get much of a rally, then in all likelihood, it continues to go lower. That's the next stopping point, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Bonds, right? Rallying, little, rest with the market, having a little rest after that drop, but it's not up at resistance yet. So, it had a nice, big, strong move off of the low, and so beginning to stall makes sense. Gold down here a bit, but churning higher. Looks like it's going to go higher, right? Let's just, the monthly, some of that haven't seen it in the past. It's got plenty of room to go up toward those prior highs, and maybe ultimately it gets up to 2,000. And well, silver, it's been more of a sloppy pattern there, but so it'll probably bring up the rear as well. Right? As for consistent, someone on YouTube giving us a nice comment here. Thank you guys for your consistent presence on YouTube at no cost. Although I'm subscribed to a couple of newsletters, it's still valuable to have pre-market analysis. I'm not a paid shill. Thank you, Lou. Thanks for being a subscriber. But of course, Dan and I do these on YouTube for advertising, as well as, we know we're helping everyone. And, we're on MT Live every Wednesday at 12 o'clock, which will be again. And this Wednesday, we're going to kind of back up the chart, kind of like this, so to speak, and go through bar by bar analysis and review pivots and so on, and see how things unfold, and just give you the thought process as we use our tools. So that'll be a good MT Live to watch. Miami Chuck, MT Live is a free webinar, educational, that Dan and I do every Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern. You should have gotten, well, you're probably in your inbox right now, the sign up for it. So just sign up, and we close this room, Chuck, at around 11:30 on Wednesdays, and we go into another chat room where Dan and I do the MT Live. And those on YouTube, we're there on YouTube. You log into YouTube, or, if you get on our email list, we'll send you the link. I usually drop it in. I don't have it ready here right now, but I'll drop it in tomorrow morning, and you can log into the chat room while we're doing it, or just watch it here on YouTube. All right. All righty, Dan, all yours. Let's get rolling.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I was going to give them the link right now real quick. So here's there's the subject and the link for Wednesday. Hope everybody had a great Super Bowl and your team won, or maybe you won money if you were betting on whatever. Only one team won. Well, no, like if you played the squares. Like the party I went to, they had 100 squares. All right, all our opens look fine. And we actually don't have that much inventory, which is a good thing. And we've had an incredible success. I'm going to send out a little chart of the week today, but for the last month, we're like 43 of 46 for credit spreads. That's an insane success rate. IR, I like over the highs.
Did you say that again, Dan? 43 to what?
Of 46 credit spreads.
Damn, you're good.
We're good.
Well, you manage them, and management is a huge part of being successful with credit spreads.
Well, right, and setup, of course. Right. Yeah, and management, right. With the broad, zigging and zagging with the broader markets. All right, let's look at gappers here. AIMT, 35 bucks. That's a bullish gap. Not crazy about it for a swing trade, but might get a day trade set up. 30.20. This is a monstrous gap. It's too big, so there's nothing to do with it. Earnings on ON, 2180, gapping down here. It needs to sell off a little bit more. Baidu up, I think it got an upgrade or something like that. And also I think Barron's might have had some positive mention. We'll keep that on our list for put spread. Nictor, 2078. It's gapping near this pivot high, but 30-minute high. If it can stabilize, it has a price void to the upside. Clovis 862 gapping up a little bit, but no price void. I'm just going to delete you. Ulta got an upgrade. Now, if it can take out the high of this red bar, then red bar ignored, and that would be a put spread candidate. AIMT, even though our bias is lower in the broader markets, as Greg said, till we get the was it live stream club? Yeah, exactly. No complaints here. Yeah, I love Shakira. She's my secret little girlfriend. Shakira. All right. So even though we're still bearish, broader markets, I still had a couple longs in there because if they trigger, they're fantastic. Say Q, spiders, diamonds coming in a little bit here, but we'll have to watch it in the first hour. All right, we already saw this one, AIMT. CTLT. Looks like it's gapping up here, but very light volume. We'll come back to it. ON. We looked at already. This is a breakdown, 86 bucks. The 30-minute low, this has a big price void. Let's put that in a window. Tesla. Yeah, I mentioned Friday that it's holding like a tank. This was actually one of our bear call credit spreads we did on Thursday. And even though it went against us, we made our target of closing it out at a penny, because we were short the 685s or 75s, I forget which, but at $25 higher. It's you know, as long as this 15-minute Nick stays bullish, then it's extended, so I would be tightening the stops. But that would be my recommendation, is just ride the strength on a 15-minute trend and pivots. This is garbage. ABG 99.75, your gap in the resistance, nothing to do. AMG 85 bucks. I can't, there's not a lot of volume. We'll come back to it. ADMT, very bullish gap, very bullish bar, and very bullish 15-minute chart. Actually, a subscriber emailed this to me pre-market, and that's what I said to him. Bullish day Friday, breaking out on the monthly. I said ideally I would love a 1, 2, 3. But if you just want to, I said you want to buy some over the high and add on pullbacks, it looks good. Apple weakness here. I think, you know, with the China stuff, they had to, the news said they had to close some stores. So that you know, this is a big $1 trillion tech stock. That's going to be a drag on the Qs, obviously. SSRM, McGraw, you gave me that. That's bullish. That's bullish. All time frames. Triple V. Yeah, Ganga, that's right. 675. Right. That's the one we did on Thursday. And it's one of those where it went against us and still made money. You can't say that when you trade stocks. McGraw, I think you gave me this one. I like the gap reversal, and it's a 1, 2, 3 on volume. So that looks interesting. I'll put that in a window on my other screen. Gapping down to 13. Yeah, remember I said I would never hold this stock overnight. Look, every day it's just a gapping machine. VAR, gap down, green bar, red bar, has some room. That's on my short watch list. Climactic sell setup on the weekly. Look, this is what we call a price void. See how the bars went up, just higher high. I mean, this is strength. Greater than 100% retracement. And since, look here, when you have pivots and the higher highs, higher lows, consolidation, that leaves levels of support. This doesn't. I mean, you had 3 overlapping bars here, so there is some support there. But when they go straight up like this, that's has room to fall. STT, Alex gave me that, so that's the short watch. Let me put all these on my other screen. Rock, same, you know, cracked here, rolling 20 and 50 with a target unfilled gap. BBY, it rolled, topping pattern, price void, gapping up a little bit, which is good, like the broader markets. If we get a 1, 2, 3, that will be a no-brainer for tomorrow. Here's actually a bullish 1, 2, 3. It's at resistance, but definite relative strength to the market. That's holding well. Same with CAG, if it can take out last week's high. Ping, sell setup, rolling over. Place looks lower. UTX, this would be a call spread candidate, but I looked and there wasn't much juice. ATVI, same call spread candidate over Thursday's high. WDC, I mean, so many stocks got damaged. 50% retracement. If it holds right here and takes out Friday's high, that's a put spread candidate. MA under Friday's low is a call spread candidate, put spread candidate. NWSA, we found scanning on Friday. It's a pseudo 1, 2, 3. Pseudo just because Friday's high is a bit higher. Travelers looks lower. Charter, I said Friday, if we get a 1, 2, 3, then that looks fantastic for tomorrow. IR is a 1, 2, 3. That one's ready to go if it takes out the high. Lima Whiskey, we were watching this Friday, and then I said let's wait into the close, and it closed weak, but if it still can take out the high, then it's topping tail and red bar ignored. KKR was mentioned in Barron's, big range expansion. If we can get a 1, 2, 3 on that, then I like it for tomorrow. Zebra, beautiful topping pattern, rolling 20 and 50. That looks great. I'm going to put him in a little window right here. That looks, now this is tier 1. If it can't gap up with the market, and then we get more confirmation of the market's topping intraday, then this is a go-to short. Looks great. It's a topping pattern. And I'm going to start working on an MT Live about topping and bottoming patterns and the use of MAs. But this is exactly the picture I'm looking for on a topping or bottoming pattern. I want it to create a lot of resistance, and then the 20 and 50 rolling. Miami, Chuck. Hey, where do you live, Chuck? Kidding. Boca. Call spread candidates for tomorrow. No, I think we mentioned candidates for today, because today is Monday. Wednesday and Friday, we have spiders in the SPX, a big contract, where we like selling 0 DTE credit spreads, and there's no 0 DTE on Tuesday, unless, of course, Monday's a holiday. So spiders. So spiders here, 15-minute coming in. So if we get a look, and it's right at this 15-minute resistance, if this goes up and gives us an M top reversal, then that will be our no-brainer entry to sell out of the money call spreads that expire today. All right, good timing. I'm done with my list. FIVE under Friday's low. Lyft is a big mess. There's some guy on CNBC talking about Uber. This guy made a comment on Uber saying, I don't know how he does his calculations. He says, oh, I'm predicting, or I'm allocating, whatever word he used, $6 of drag on Uber because of their Uber Eats is not making money, and also the California problem with trying to go after these sharing companies for